If you've ever been pushed around by someone who thought they had power over you, smash that like button. Subscribe for more true stories of justice served. Because today, you're about to hear how a small, smug bank learned the cost of messing with the wrong customer. Back then, I thought small meant safe. I chose a tiny local credit union to store my money, figuring, hey, personal service, community feel, people who care. That illusion shattered fast. One day, my debit card refused to work at the ATM. Annoyed, I walked inside. A clerk, casual as could be, gave me a special code to pull out cash directly from my account. Apparently, this was just some internal feature the bank offered, not a favor, just standard. I thought nothing of it, but a few days later, things got ugly. Without warning, my account was flagged. The bank froze every cent I had. Why? A so-called accounting error. They claimed a late balance adjustment triggered the system. But I wasn't in overdraft. I hadn't done anything wrong. Still, they kept my funds locked. A day turned into a week into a month. And every time I called for answers, I got snark, condescending voices, dismissive tone. Sometimes, even little digs about my foreign-sounding last name. Think about that. The very institution I trusted with my financial security treated me like a criminal, like an outsider who didn't belong. Inside, I was boiling. My heart would race during every call, my fists clenched tight. The humiliation was worse than the inconvenience. One night, frustrated and powerless, I vented to my family overseas. My younger cousin listened quietly, then laughed. "Why not fight fire with fire?" he said. And then he gave me an idea so wild, it sounded insane. There was this little Russian service online. It paid people literal pennies, a few rubles each, to post whatever you wanted on social media. Complaints, reviews, comments, anything. And the best part, you could even choose whether the accounts looked American, European, whatever you needed. I hesitated. Could this really work? Could a few fake voices online make a dent in a bank's shiny image? But then I thought about the smirk in that clerk's voice. About the call center agent practically mocking me for daring to ask about my own money. About the month of stress, humiliation, and sleepless nights, and I knew this was my move. I loaded the service with just $3. That's right, less than the price of a cup of coffee. I wrote out a handful of angry, believable complaints, stuff like, "This bank locked my money for no reason," "Worst service ever, avoid at all costs," "Untrustworthy and rude staff." Then I let the bots do their work. Within hours, the credit union's Facebook page was on fire, their Twitter replies buried in furious comments, Google reviews flooded with one-star ratings. Everywhere you looked, people were sharing their experiences, except these weren't real customers. They were an army of digital ghosts I had unleashed. I sat back, watching with a grin as their carefully polished image collapsed into chaos. And then, it happened. My phone rang. Not a clerk. Not some rude call center rep. The call center manager himself. His tone, completely different, polite, careful, almost scared. He apologized for the misunderstanding, said the bank understood my frustration. And here's the kicker. They were ready to immediately transfer my full balance to any bank of my choice. On top of that, they offered $50 in compensation just to smooth things over. After over a month of stonewalling me, suddenly they couldn't move fast enough. I accepted, got my money back, plus their hush money. And the best part, they couldn't prove any of this social media chaos was linked to me. I could hear it in the manager's voice. This wasn't just customer service anymore. This was damage control. Pure, desperate damage control. In the end, they thought they could lock away my money, treat me like dirt, and walk away untouched. But for just $3, I turned their reputation into a battlefield. Their calls, their apologies, their little $50 payoff, it was proof that no matter how powerful someone thinks they are, their empire can collapse overnight. All it takes is hitting them where it hurts most, their pride, their image, their reputation. What I learned, Justice doesn't always come from rules or policies. Sometimes, it comes from creativity and a little bit of chaos. In the end, I got my money, they got a lesson, and I got the most satisfying $3 revenge of my life. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell me in the comments what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever pulled off. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more true stories where justice always finds a way.